Donald Trump has just announced he will select a new Federal Reserve governor this week, signaling further shake UPS inside the U.S. financial system. With fresh statements about U.S. India tariffs and monetary policy, the crypto space, and XRP in particular, is watching closely. Ripple's strategic blueprint is now gaining attention, as their Fed Master Account application could pave the way for institutional support of Ripple Dollar and XRP within central banking infrastructure. Now, let's begin with market context. XRP has climbed nearly 6% today, trading at $3.05, while Bitcoin hovers just above $115,000 and Ethereum around $3,700. Altcoins like XLM and HBR are also in the green. XLM up 4% near 41 cents, and HBR up 2.5% near 25 cents. These moves suggest capital is returning to risk assets after several correctionary days, possibly in anticipation of regulatory clarity and macroeconomic shifts. Meanwhile, Trump's announcement about sweeping changes at the Fed, installing new leadership at both the Fed and the Bureau of Labor Statistics, stirs uncertainty but also opportunity. Rising tariffs on India and global trade tensions fuel macro volatility. However, more liquidity may be injected into financial markets if the Federal Reserve signals rate guidance shifts. That liquidity is key for crypto, and Ripple is positioned to capitalize. Coexisting with this political reset is Ripple's bold infrastructure strategy. The recently published OCC bank charter application and simultaneous request for a Fed Master account intend to push Ripple into the core of U.S. payment rails. A master account would allow Ripple to deposit Ripple Dollar reserves directly at the Fed, enabling institutional payments and real-time settlements via tokenized finances. While XRP isn't name-checked in the application, its role as a bridge asset is implied. Every interaction with Ripple Dollar ultimately settles with XRP. Understanding this framework is crucial. Ripple is not seeking deposit insurance or consumer lending functions. Instead, it aims to be a limited-purpose trust bank, serving business clients while operating seamlessly with Fed infrastructure. That means Ripple Dollar becomes eligible for Fed custody, and XRP integration becomes a building block for private and cross-border settlement systems on the regulatory front. The CFTC, Commodity Futures Trading Commission, has initiated what regulators call a crypto sprint to implement the White House's crypto policy framework, known as Project Crypto, part of the evolving clarity policy landscape. This push is expected to introduce federal rules for stablecoins, tokenized assets, and framework support for crypto finance integration. Adding another institutional layer, Ripple is pursuing a basket ETF under SEC Rule 19b. This ETF includes XRP and was abruptly suspended by the SEC. However, the legal case by Grayscale argues the ETF should be automatically approved after 240 days. Success could open a sanctioned institutional pathway for XRP investment, potentially transforming long-term demand. That state-level developments also matter. Ripple is the 23rd largest private tech firm worldwide, valued around $15 billion, just behind SpaceX, indicating deep private sector confidence. With Fed Master Account access, XRP could effectively power new utility banking rails, especially for tokenized assets. Expectations suggest digital property payments, treasury holdings, and enterprise settlement layers could go live soon. Amid price rally triggers and policy shifts, macro watchers point out that tariff threats and leadership changes don't always equate to immediate bullish trends. But a Fed willing to engage with tokenized infrastructure signals a future-ready architecture that recognizes XRP's role. As this week unfolds, it's essential to monitor announcements from Trump's team, SEC decisions, and Ripple's regulatory affiliations. If XRP holds above $3 and volume remains robust, The next technical resistance to watch is around $3.70. But the bigger battle is infrastructure and regulatory recognition that that's the landscape. Ripple's bank charter building real utility, regulatory authorities moving to clarify crypto frameworks, institutional ETFs re-emerging, and macro liquidity patterns shifting under central bank leadership changes. It's one of the most important inflection points for XRP's role in global finance.